Welcome to another CEO Wisdom podcast. We have Garrett Delph. He helps founders and CEOs to optimize operation, drive growth, and navigate complexity at PLT Ops. That's his company. He's been 25 plus years building and scaling companies. He's owned a photography business. He's still co-founder and CEO at shoot.edit as well. So quite the diversified entrepreneur there, lots of experience, eager to dive in coaching and what type of advice you might have for entrepreneurs like me, like you, like us. This
That's right.
podcast is presented to you by podpar.com. If you want to start your own podcast, you can go to podpar.com. We help you start, scale, monetize podcasts. It's also brought to you by Qualia here. If you want to optimize your mind, bring focus, memory, and drive in this brain of yours, you can go to neurohacker.com/CEO wisdom. Garrett, glad to have you on the podcast. Can you tell me a bit more about yourself and what you're up to nowadays?
Yeah, thanks so much, Charles. Great to be here, by the way. Thank you for having me. And I'll take an order of those brain fuel.
Yeah,
I don't want to
Qualia,
say, yeah. I'll have some of
Nootropic,
those.
yeah, they're good. You just need to pop like a couple of them because, yeah, they have a bunch of ingredients. They certainly have some caffeine, right? But they
Sure, that's okay.
recommend to pop like up to 7 a day, 3 to 7, which is quite a lot. But yeah, amazing brain pills right there.
Yeah, heck yeah. Love it. Yeah, love it. Well, thanks again, Charles, for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, a little bit about Clarity Ops. I mean, ultimately, that business was birthed ultimately out of what I believe is necessity to many businesses in all domains. Having, lived in business chaos, and having experienced firsthand the pain and challenges that come with the messy middle, as the founder of Behance likes to call it. I determined after many years, it's a horrible way to live as a business owner. And I would say it's even a more horrible way to live when you're an employee that is being paid to live inside of chaos, inside of a business. And I have proven, but I think more importantly, I believe and know that a business doesn't have to live in chaos. And there's a way to eliminate it and to create order at scale. And then as a result, businesses benefit in a whole host of ways, which are both, related to vision mission, but they're also related to culture. And surely they're related to growth. And I think, what everybody is ultimately wanting and interested in, and that is net profits that can be used for good, And so that's the overarching thought there for Clarity Ops.
Do you feel that chaos can have some value in businesses as well? Do you think creativity, for example, is chaos, and that unpredictableness can bring huge amounts of money into businesses as well?
Yeah, it's a great question. Reid Hoffman wrote a book about that called Blitz Scaling. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, it's a good one. Highly
It's a good
recommend it.
one. And so my answer to that question is twofold. Yes, if you are interested in and plan to pursue the blitz scaling model, because there is a place for that, where failing fast, failing often, on purpose, and you design chaos to do that so that you can hopefully be the 1 in 10,000 that wins from a venture capitalist input. This is what venture demands, and in that context, I'd say chaos is a great thing. As a matter of fact, chaos is required. That is the point. That said, most businesses are not venture backed. They're not angel backed. They're not friends and family backed. They're homegrown, and men and women and men are using their own resources to build their dream. And in that context, I would say, although chaos can be good because it is a It's the manifestation of problems. Most of us don't respond to that contextual chaos well, which is why we see the stat in business, 9 out of 10 businesses fail. And I think that is just because of organizational architecture. The Navy SEALs are notorious for this classic quote by one of them, which is, "Slow is smooth and smooth is fast." And if you plan to have a sustainable, this is my opinion, by the way, but if you plan to have a sustainable future in your business that can repeat success over time with different people that come and go in the ship, chaos is your worst enemy. That's again my opinion.
Right. I was talking with a coach client of mine yesterday, and I was like, okay, the greatest problem faced by founders and CEOs is probably overwhelm. Then he corrected me and was like, no, it's the lack of sales. I was like, yeah, you're right. But still, overwhelm seems to be a huge problem. Chaos could be a synonym of that. Is that what you're seeing in a lot of your clients as well? Where does that overwhelm come from, and what are potential remedies to it other than organization?
Yeah, great thought, Charles. I'd have to think about it being a synonym. I do think chaos is a symptom of um, disorganization, and I think being overwhelmed and full of angst, anxiety, fear, these yucky feelings that plague us, especially as entrepreneurs, these are symptomatic of things very often unseen inside of the org that are not organized well, or that are broken. And I really believe that's where the overwhelming feelings come from, and the yucky feelings, and then ultimately the chaos is a lack. I think it boils down to a lack of control. And if you cannot control your business controls you, but the business is not it's not a human. So if it doesn't have governance, the business just spins out of control. And when that happens and you don't know why, I think that's where all those horrible feelings begin to come up. And I would call it, chaos at that point.
Right. And what do your clients or founders, what do they want out of their business? And what do you want out of your business? Is it an exit and a retirement? Is it ikigai and be happy running that business? Is it like a creative output? Is it like an art? What do humans want out of their businesses usually, their goals?
Hmm. So, dude, Charles, I love all of those components of a entrepreneur's why. And, probably just a separate podcast on that alone, or for that matter, even a book, But my opinion over the years boils down to one word: money. I think entrepreneurs and business owners, they get into business because they want money. And typically, if you're an entrepreneur, you want to control how you create your money. And typically that's through a dream, through a vision of yours that is grand, So that would be my short answer: money. But as you pursue that, and as you hopefully, as we all hopefully mature our businesses, all of those other components that you mentioned and more, I think, become critical path to in that journey. I really think they all collectively make for either unhealthiness or health, either weakness or strength, either, agility or stagnation,
I feel that a bunch of founders as well, they are looking for an exit, but have you ever stopped working? It feels quite lonely and wrong. You go on vacations and it's like if
Right.
working is a part of me and it's fun, I don't want to stop doing it. It's a way of meeting cool people, being creative and building stuff, which I think us humans are made to do. We're creative creatures. So yeah, every time I'm seeing a founder suffer quite a lot on a daily basis for an exit that will happen in 5 to 10 years. I'm like, yeah, that's the wrong plan. Do you get some of these, and what is your recommendations? Because I mean, money is fine. I think one can reach money easily nowadays with like a consulting or a coaching type of business like you have, like I have. Um, so is there something more to work? Is there like a passion, a reason of being? And how
Yes.
can that actually increase your productivity and getting more money?
Yeah, 100%. My shorter answer definitely is money, but I am with you. Um, it's a short-sighted goal, right?
But I'm in the same opinion as you. Like, my advice for young founders is how do you become an entrepreneur is by wanting money and by going for the profits. You know, I used to buy
Right.
these things off China, would resell them at like 50x a markup, and then I understood I could be paid $50 an hour instead of 9. And that's
Right.
why I pursued entrepreneurship even before I pursued freedom.
That's good. So this your question and the topic reminds me of the founder of the travel search engine Kayak.
Yeah.
And he has a great story. He talks about how he actually hates business. He actually hates the concept of business. What he had always been in love with and fell in love with is building really great products with teams that he curates, who are people that fit certain criteria, that change the world. And as it turns out, that made him $1 billion. Right? So like, I think there are a lot of paths to fulfillment. And I'm sure, Charles, if we interview 100 entrepreneurs, many of them find satisfaction and fulfillment in the pure pursuit of money. And I would say, like, to each his own. If that's where they're at, wonderful, you know. But I would probably say that typically doesn't fulfill most people.
Right. And
You know.
another that I've seen that is quite big, and I think it is the one that shapes the most billionaires out there, is just the desire to win. Period,
Truth.
just winning. Maybe they were brought in very competitive environments, and that's how their parents gave them their approval, their love, oh, you won. Now you get a hug. You don't, no, you don't get a hug. And that's like deeply uh ingrained in their psyche, but that's another big one. I guess the topic we're sort of revolving around is how does one get clear about their business objectives, about knowing what they want, about how to create good goals in the first place? Is it stopping everything and going on an ayahuasca retreat and finding out your deep why, your deep answer? Is it by hiring a coach like yourself? Is it by reading a couple of books, 12 weeks here? That is my go-to when it comes to goal setting. I've
Oh,
tried
that's
goal
great.
setting. I've tried a lot of things, and nowadays I'm not that structured on the goal level. I do have my monthly goals and all, but it seems like I lost my drive to set up great goals. So
Mm.
how can I get that clarity, and is goal setting still a worthwhile pursuit?
Yeah, that's great, man. Great question. First of all, I think that clarity is iterative. So it's not like you just get it and then set it and forget it. It's an iterative process. And then the other thing, in terms of clarity on what you want and where to go, beginning there, I would say it's all of the above that you mentioned, and or could be parts of them. So, like, if you came to me as a consultant and you said, I'm I'm lost. I don't even know where, and I know this is not you, but hypothetically, right? I don't know what my next steps are. I kind of lost my drive yet. I always think a great place to start is, are there any problems you see in any domain that you're passionate about solving. Like it really means something. It's meaningful to you to solve a problem or deliver a a value, right? And then in terms of clarity, then you have to go through the product market fit exercise and begin to go, all right, now I got to validate my problem and validate what I believe would be true value to the market or the domain, and test for that, right? Go through discovery, interview, validate. Then that's when things begin to crystallize and you start going, oh my gosh. Or like, actually, I didn't plan to bring this up, but I think it's appropriate. Kayak, that was part of their journey, right? They were looking at all the price lines and the Orbitses of the world and all them. I think there were four big players, and they found pain and problems that nobody else was solving for, and they had to go through that process. But once they nailed product market fit, clarity arrived, crystal clear, and they had a path, right? And for a founder like that who hates business but loves building things that will change the world, it's perfect setup, you know? Perfect setup. So, and then like, how do you get there? Heck yeah, man. A lone retreat up in the mountains. I have a buddy, he went to the mountains for 2 weeks and wrote a book and came back with a ton of clarity. One path. Another is get around smart people that you really value, appreciate, trust, and dump your heart to them. Another one is find a consultant or a coach. I don't necessarily consider myself a coach. Tends to be more like, you know, maybe different, but I guess I could be a coach. Come to a coach or a consultant that you trust, you know? So lots of different ways to get there. But those are some thoughts on the question.
Yeah, this is good. When you're in a coaching session with a client, do you feel that a GPT or an AI has its place, whether it is to brainstorm your ideas by a third brain? So you have your clients, right? They have ideas, you have ideas as a coach, and then you could have a GPT to be more impartial or at least record the conversation and give us insights out of it. Are you using AIs nowadays in your coaching process?
Let's see. Not using it per se in the coaching process in terms of discovery, and pursuing radical problems internally. Where we are using it though, is when we get into process development, let's say for a customer success department that's failing miserably. And maybe one of the areas they're really struggling with are scripts that they can empower their agents at scale so that they don't every time, or what are called macros in a CRM. And for their use case, they don't have any knowledge transfer system or any data around how best to repeatedly communicate the same things to their customers. Dude, ChatGPT, Claude really become wonderful, like almost magical tools. And it still needs humans, but they accelerate that exercise really quickly. So that's one area we use it.
And what do you feel is your core distinction from all these other coaches or consultants that are specialized in growth? Like, what's your ludicrous offer?
That's awesome. Well, offers different than differentiation. So I'll lean into your differentiation question. And it is this, and this is actually why I don't like the word coach, at least for me, because my differentiation, Clarity Ops differentiation, is most consultants are strategic in nature, meaning, and like the big four, Deloitte, BCG, McKinsey, Bain and Co., right? They are the world leaders in bringing strategy to organizations that are struggling with big picture assembly. Where I differentiate is I can drive strategy, create strategy for different business types. But where my superpower is, Charles, is then taking that strategy and converting it into tactical, executable plans at scale repeatedly. This is where I'm kind of a weirdo. Building organizational governance and administrative governance, and then having those things integrate via process building into the org, which is what I think is the foundation of any high rise, if you could accept the metaphor, is heavy, heavy lifting. And it's maniacal, it's hard. Turns out I love it. I love it. And my team loves it. Hired people, great people that are in love with this thing that I think is actually, without it, your strategy has a 50-50 chance of winning, And so when we go into organizations, we actually can bring the build from scratch and then set up those organizations for success where these tactical builds actually can be repeated at scale because it's all documented and can be easily followed objectively, and I'd say that's the big differentiator for Clarity Ops.
Now, you've been in photography for a while. Photography is about capturing the moment. Do you feel that most founders capture their super skills and their essence and what they're really good at, or do you also help them hone in on what they're great at and outsource the rest?
Yeah, that's great. I'm actually CEOs flying in from Denver, Colorado. I'm here in San Diego, flying in this weekend to address that very question. And the answer is, I think, especially in the C-suite, founder, CEO levels, it is so noisy. And it can really become confusing when all of these inputs come at you, and many of them are counterfeit, but these counterfeit inputs are very good at convincing you as a leader that they're all important. And so one of the things we do when we go into the discovery phase is first, identify the true problems versus the perceived problems. And the other is prune through organization. And we know this is great because, Charles, we know what happens when we prune plants. They grow back stronger and better. And so one of the components of helping businesses break through is to eliminate. It's a process of elimination so that you can get focused on the things that matter most. And that's, that's iterative and that's a process. But the answer, I guess the short answer to the question is 100% yes. That is so important.
What are you reading nowadays? Couple of book recommendations.
Ooh, that's really great. Let me pull up my Audible. By the way, I will tell you, I've been kind of on a podcast kick. So I got a couple of fave podcasts. One of them is Founders. I don't know if you've listened to that.
This one's good.
Yeah.
My First Million too is quite good.
Yeah, that's great. How I Built This.
Yep. Classic. Guy Raz.
Yeah, man. He's wonderful. So I got a couple books in play right now. Buy Then Build.
Okay.
Really.
I think I heard
have you heard of that?
one.
You have?
Buy Then Build. Well, as a recommendation, so you're the second person recommending it. I'll definitely give it a read.
It's really great, man. Have you read Hermosi's $100 million offer?
Yeah, it's better than his $100 million leads. Because, well, I mean, I'm into lead gen, so but the $100 million offer is a classic. It's so good.
It's so good, man. You just read that once a year if you're
or just the headline straight up, like
yes,
you need
man.
$100 million offer in this world, else it's not gonna go good for your business. So yeah, $100 million offer as a title, great title.
Another one is Build. Just Build. It's by the founder of Nest.
Yeah, the founder of Nest. That's a good one. I like it.
Yep. Yeah, that's a real good one. So I have a bunch more here. I don't know if you want me to go through them or
one more.
There's
just one more.
Yeah. All right. Let me pull one that I think is really worth taking a look at. Oh, okay. It's dang it. How my ship? Dang it,
What
Charles.
is it about?
It's about the Navy commander that
I have it here on your blog. It's your ship. Yeah.
Thank you. It's your ship.
Captain D. Michael Abrazoff. Yeah.
Abershoff.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Isn't he the make your bed guy?
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't.
he's like wake up, make your bed. I think that's him. But
Is-
yeah,
is that-
definitely gonna read that one as well if you like it. What do you like about it?
Well, I love that one because he's got such a non-military approach.
Yeah.
And by the way, it has nothing, that's not a dig on military, by the way.
Yeah.
But he went into this very stringent military environment and brought humanity to the people. He brought care, he brought love, he brought common sense, you know. Also, I tend to really appreciate, I'm biased, but he's a big process guy.
Okay.
But he was able to execute process in a way where it was humane, and literally turn the Navy around. Yes.
Love it.
And for any leader of people, it's a great book.
Love it. Well, thank you so much. Where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, thanks so much, Charles. Of course, we can go to our website, clarityops.co. Lots of content there, lots of great information. Of course, you can go to the contact page, it's /contact. And I'm on LinkedIn. So Garrett Delph is my handle on LinkedIn as well.